He just said it was going to be...
Was he a fence rider?
He said, it's going to be 2-1. And I was right, because it was 2-1. Yeah, good job, Pimp. Good job. You know, round of applause.
Go on, who do we think is going to be winning Vertigo?
I feel like Vertigo should be Nouns. I feel like it should be 2-1 to Nouns overall.
I'll go Nouns Vertigo for sure.
All right, there we go. Vertigo time, baby. Let's do this.
Vertigo, not a place I expected this map feeder to go, Brandon. It's been the primary ban for Legacy, actually, in a lot of their recent matchups. So they've let it through with an intention, and now we get to see what it is.
Yeah, saving strats for the RMR, our Legacy. Let's see if it does pay off, of course, starting on the CT side. Carson, Smoke, Molly, CJ very much the same. Utel heavy and dependent for the Nouns as they begin their ascendancy up towards A. Lato gets the info. He needs to fall back and he needs rotations in support.
Yeah, calls over some of the gang. Smoke over towards short. That's going to allow Marky to continue to accelerate up, and he's going to find a completely clear site. You can see Incendiary in the hands of Demal to cancel. They do try and go for the bomb plant. It's fake out initially. Just see the flames come on over. Perhaps just holding on to them for that retake. Esco went the way of Nouns through the smoke. They're staying aggressive. Marky sitting very close to the smoke, and that one in towards elevator is isolating the fights, but it doesn't matter to coldzera. 2 from the elevated angle. And now the rest of the support can start to come on through. Barton and Demal both hit theirs. And Carson in towards the ramp is getting swarmed by the CTs.
Yeah, really nice from Legacy there in that retake, because for Nouns, it's really important just to note the timing of their utility and where they want to hold. And basically what's happened there is you've been countered by a single incendiary, and that really forces the application of Carson's utility. As soon as that bomb gets denied immediately and you don't feel comfortable in towards that bomb site, that's when Carson goes, okay, I have to deploy my utility now. You need to then redeploy the incendiary over towards headshot box, and that wastes it. You can't then hold it for that after plant. Legacy play it really well. They have one flash over the top, but more importantly, they're all together to guarantee the trades.
I did like the idea of the elevated smoke there, right, to isolate these positions, but they just weren't ready for cold up on that elevated spot there. It had been boosted up, and that he gets a double there is phenomenal way to start things for Legacy. I think one of the most interesting talking points about this squad, and something I'm sure we'll get to dive into a bit over the course of this series, is that coldzera has taken on the primary AWP role in this team as of late, which is not something I think if you're familiar with coldzera's career, you might be expecting. Obviously, he's always been a proficient secondary AWPer, the famous jumping double from Cold. But primary, a new role in the team.
Yeah, it feels like to a certain extent you kind of got a mismatch of roles there for Cold. Obviously, he's been doing it for quite a while now, and of course, you've got the sort of the IGL-ing era of coldzera in Legacy, which, again, it felt like they were stuck in their times just a little bit. It often felt like coldzera was calling some of these rounds, and it wasn't really going sort of the way the meta was really defining it. So you've now got Nekis on this role, and there's also just some murmurs in the scene that Nekis should be a player that should also be focusing on his crosshair. So we'll have to see how it really plays out. Most importantly, though, Legacy do grab the pistol. Bartan's getting in the face of Nouns and immediately has found Marky on the opener. Good space being taken over by B stairs as well. Nouns forced by doesn't get off to the greatest of starts.
Yeah, it's a bold choice. Just go for that forward spot and just to drop on down, knowing that you're going to be up against the Galils. coldzera, just on the information gathering in towards mid, was moving forward, and the second kill doesn't go his way. Famas betrays him on the spray. CJ the King becomes very low. Demal tucked on through, did stick around, and he's not cleared. One will be his. Already found a double in the round. Support can come on over. This round really rests on what Junior can accomplish with CJ the King's low health.
Yeah, it's a bit rocky. You've got no sort of essence of control now if you're Nouns. You had the fight in towards mid that didn't really go your way. The only kill you've had was over towards B. Bartan holding for that boost up. CJ dropped. And now it all is on towards Junior. Good collection on towards Nekis. 1 versus 2 is still incredibly doable. You know that Bartan was over towards B, so you assume there might be another rotation. He's Scarpers, wants to relocate towards A.
Definitely a doable way to kick things off. Actually going to root up through mid.
All right. I don't mind this, because you can still take this either direction. If Lato gives you a fight, which you see his position, he isn't. So it's up to Junior to figure out potentially there's a gap in towards elevator. If he goes up the construction, that's where it gets a little bit difficult, but no, he is still committing to this way. Time is ticking, Junior. 10 seconds, has to go around the corner. Didn't get spotted, and the bomb can just about go down.
They're fast after him, though. You can see how quickly Laddo is in pursuit. The bomb does go down, Junior, able to get to a better angle. And he has two players running straight at him, gets the first, but great spacing from Barton. Defuse will come through, but another bomb plant for Nouns, and almost a clutch for Junior.
Yeah, nearly, but not quite. It's interesting actually taking a look at Legacy and the way that they've set up themselves in this round in particular, because they appear to be incredibly confident. They're happy to hang around in a lot of the spaces you wouldn't really kind of associate with Legacy hanging about in for all that long. Normally they take the space and then give it up instantly. By just hanging around the extra couple of seconds, you are catching Nouns off guard, but also you're presenting opportunities to allow Nouns to be able to trade. And that's what happens initially. That's what forces this into a 1 versus 1 in the first place. But right at the tail end, the retakes have been incredibly solid.
And again, though, the bomb plan and the fact that you brought it down to the 1v1 means that Nouns feeling very emboldened to continue the forced investments. Now with the flashbang set up for a peek for Barton. The Sendry just to clear out the close angle. Hunting for sound cues more than anything with that piece of utility. Now the flash over, he only has to clear the left side. Cole going to be tested with the FAMAS again in mid this time. CJ still gets the best of him.
That's going to make things troublesome now for Legacy. They have to fight in towards mid. Not ready for Dumao to be that closest George. And Dumao just keeps on swinging. He wants to fight. He knows that CJ is low. Mid cleared out. Only one way in for Nouns up B.
Yeah, great response though from Nouns. They're very fast onto the side. Marking up close and a good swing. The flashbang blinds Junior, but it doesn't matter. He just sprays them both down as they line up. And that's going to make this retake feel very difficult. They're just going to disengage. Dumao's health doesn't allow this to go forward.
Yeah, two things there. It's also Legacy can't go for this because of the low HP, but where the rounds have got so close, it's come right down to the wire, especially in the previous or the back of the Nouns force buy. You want to preserve your cash. You know it's not worth it despite there being confirmed damage. Junior's just in the perfect position there. And it's Nouns also giving Legacy a taste of their own medicine. As soon as utility comes through, it doesn't matter. They swing together, they guarantee trades. Putting yourself in good positions favors Junior, and he benefits of it. Ultimate prize for Nouns. They finally convert a round. Has taken them 3 chances to do it.
You don't feel too bad though. You know that Legacy are now rocky on the CT side, and it's such a difficult economy for the defense. So being able to get a reset in early will mean a lot, and Legacy will most likely feel that they want to invest into this. So they are going to buy around these 2 saved rifles. It's not the prettiest, and that flashbang is perfect. Marky sets up George. B has been really where Nouns have been putting a lot of their pressure early, and they're finding the success.
And again, this is just the round 1. It's another one of those in which Legacy just has to kind of concede it. Lato might be in for an AK, although Junior's already on the hunt, just wants to deny any sort of weaponry that can be brought forward. Timing, it's just horrible. The neck is, but also Cold Zero up close. Should be the trade, and it just about is. So that's an AK at the very least, that's not too bad. You're right though, the B bomb site, pressure being applied early, and Nouns are waiting a lot to the mid round before engaging in some of those fights. Legacy has shown that they're quick to rotate and they're quick to respond, which is something that can be conditioned for Nouns as well. Carson can get in the mid round and just say, okay, well, we know they're rotating a little bit eagerly. There's something we can condition. This is something that we can punish.
Not sure how necessary that peek from Cold Zero was in towards shot. Loses his AK, which had been recovered. Now Nouns have gotten what they've been working towards. That hard reset of Legacy's economy. Saved FAMAS, the prize jewel of their investment into this next round. I wonder if we might see a bit of a change up from Nouns' approach. They want to focus in towards middle this time around. Carson's going to be selling some presents towards A. Very curious to see at what point Nouns start to put more attention there early. We do often see it as the focal point for Vertigo, but it's not really been their game plan thus far.
This is nice. This is just a very simple round coming out of Nouns. You're grouping together, you're trying to take these long-range engagements, but at the same time you can lead with the MAC-10 to farm up money. Junior can be the second person on the crime scene, just killing all of these players in towards mid. Marky gets a collection of cash for his hard work. And Nouns, they take the lead, and to be honest, it's been incredibly deserved.
Best case scenario, MAC-10 gets a couple of kills, upgrades to the AK off his fallen comrade. Their coffers aligned with gold.
Very curious pick for Legacy to allow this in the veto. Last time they played this map, which is why the desk was a little bit surprised, was the 16th of January. It was their T side that looked incredible there, but for Nouns, they've always been in the conversation when it comes to Vertigo. Very prominent map. CJ looking to be prominent in towards mid. First fight found on Neckers. Cold Zero boosted as well. This is a difficult clear and a necessary trade, but CJ's ready for it. 5-on-3, Nouns look to assert dominance.
CJ absolutely undoes them. And now there's that presence towards A. Oh, flashbang is good though. Set up for Demal. Latto, quick on the trigger to Marky. Oh, but Latto locks them out. One by one, they walk straight into him and he adjusts with precision. What started as a phenomenal opening for Nouns off the back of CJ's double is left to Carson to clutch at the pieces. Spots one crossing into elevator, but the bomb is even so difficult for him to get his hands onto. Sprays wild and Demal capitalizes.
Yeah, Latto or Lotto. He's got to be thanking his lucky stars. Honestly, that's such an easy way to get Legacy back into that round. Nouns feel like they've got a lot of space. Think about what Legacy have been doing in a number of these rounds in the first half after being eviscerated in towards middle. What's their response? It is always a flash play. That guarantees 2 players over towards that side of the map. Nouns think they've got the space, but no, they don't clear the angle. They are not prepared, and Latto mows them down and equalizes the scoreline for Legacy.
Yeah, trade spacing was actually quite good from Nouns there as well. It was just Latto's adjustment was so clean. You could just see those insta headshots off the first bullet. Beautiful stuff to recover the round. After such a clinical opener from CJ as well, the way he devastated them in mid was really lovely to watch.
5-on-3 that really just falls out of their hands. And it's rounds like this that Nouns cannot afford to be losing. It's those just 2-player advantages. Seemingly feel like a lock-in, but no, the round is not done until it's over, until you see it flash on the screen. Nouns win the round. Carson, aggressive. Utility fantastic from Junior, setting up his rifle as well. He's got the AWP in the back lines. Cold Zero swinging, but it's George the punish. Again, another advantage here for Nouns as they scale up A ramp.
Headshot comes through onto the second kill as well. It couldn't quite find the follow-up bullet. Now Junior starts to have a look. Boost up, cool, never mind. That was the moment, and that's information. You now know 2 players are there. Junior, no issues hitting that flick. Now they can just collapse onto the bomb site. Barton is still here. And at the moment, it's a little bit open in towards shot. Smoke comes forward, all the util behind it. He's gonna throw that incendiary forward, and it is gonna get George. The low HP player went for the plant, which is, you gotta admit, a little risky on Vertigo, knowing that denial utility is so common. And there's a flank coming. It's late though. Demal's gonna arrive well after the bomb goes down.
And Junior's holding it. Look, this is the perfect weapon for the job. Already off to a hot start and can't quite secure that one, but at least it means the riflers can come back in towards Gap, can take a peek down yellow and support. There is a kit and there is a smoke for Bartan.
Looking up over the top and oh, Junior! What a shot. Barton barely gets to register that he's on the screen. A flying start for the author of Nouns. 10 on the board, 2 in this round. Nouns going to be taking the lead.
Good change of pace from Nouns as well. You called on it a few rounds ago. When was the pressure going to be applied over towards A? And this was very route one. It didn't have that element of Nouns poking and prodding in towards middle. It was all these players over towards the ramp. Junior jumps off and celebrates.
Start as well before, so that's quite poetic.
Explodes into action quite literally. Double digits already found for this AWPer. And that's a big conversation piece. Obviously, we talk about coldzera AWPing. We've got to talk about this head-to-head between him and Junior and the stylistic plays in which we're going to see. Junior more than happy to go for these opening kills, incredibly flashy in the way that he fires off these shots with the sniper.
From his POV, that is nasty.
But coldzera, very much the opposite. You're not going to get that out of coldzera. You're going to get a much more systems-based AWPer. He's going to be more of a turret. Trying to be reliable and holding down an angle. This time it's Dumal trying his best, but Marky overwhelms him. Trajectory of the grenade. Marky knows, but Marky can't quite clear Bartan. But it's still pressure being applied to Nouns. And they're going to fully commit in towards this B bomb site. Bartan needs help.
Smoke forward might to slow them down. I can give time for the reinforcements to come on over.
But look what's coming over, though. USP's Deagles, no utility behind it.
Yeah, just boosting up the AK early to try and get something with it. But knows that this round, if there's any hope for them, it comes off him doing something crazy and he can't get it done. Now they can just swarm the site. Deagle might be able to get something done, but the flashbangs continue to be so strong from Nouns. I just feel like the flashbangs just in general in this map have been really good both ways.
I'm going to be honest, stark contrast to yesterday from what we saw against FURIA. There was a number of times, especially on their T side, where it felt like they were relying a lot on contact-heavy plays. There wasn't a lot of utility being thrown to sort of set up one of these peaks. It felt like they wanted to have the element of surprise, really be that team that was overwhelming when it came to pure contact, rather than just sort of telegraphing a little bit where you're going to go. This is a complete difference, and it's one that has resulted them in looking very competent and I'd even say dominant in a large majority of these rounds. We've had hero moments from Legacy. We've had smart protocols when it comes to retakes, but Nouns have always been in direct control every single round in this half so far.
That's true, actually, yeah. Even the first two rounds that Legacy picked up definitely felt like they were Nouns' rounds that Legacy were able to find a way into.
This also comes off the back of preparation. This is Nouns boot camping in Europe. They had that with Adren, newest edition that's come in January. And Nouns, for them, they're hoping it's not a repeat of the Paris RMRs, where they went for a boot camp and then it was so close, but they didn't quite make it. This time they're hoping for a better turn of fortunes. Mid, again, the priority. But this time it's aggressive from both coldzera and Nekiz that are easily able to overwhelm Junior. Can't get by coldzera on the angle. 3 players in mid for Legacy.
Great follow-up kill from coldzera. I feel like Junior should have got that one right. I think just the angle gave Cold a slight advantage on the fight. See what Nouns can pull back, but yeah, I was very curious as to whether coldzera would be picking this up. Figured he would. I'm excited to kind of see how he plays it on Vertigo in particular. Carson dealt with. Marky will be accounted for. See the position's being held from Guardian. Because they want to keep this one clean. Nouns already off to a very strong T side.
Any damage is good damage, though. Even in a 1 versus 5, but he's going to not clear. Bartan elevated on top of the construction site. And for coldzera, he'll be doing a lot of utility. He'll probably be throwing a lot of the smokes over towards A. They'll probably come back towards elevator with the AWP. Hold a much more passive line. And it relies a lot more on the riflers of Legacy. I like this pause as well, right? You've just completely changed up your showing in towards mid with 3 players. Now you've got this AWP, you completely changes the dynamic again for Legacy. 30 seconds to really discuss how you want to set things up and also how to gather these rounds on a consistent basis, because the more back and forth it goes, ultimately towards the tail end of this half, the more it's going to favor Nouns.
Yeah, we've seen that already. Kind of prior rounds. I do like that Legacy are kind of prioritizing a bit of action in towards middle. I think that they've read that Nouns aren't putting a lot of early focus towards ramp outside that one round that we saw them kind of pop quickly, but it has been a lot more to the other side of the map. So Legacy's response has been try some different variations to the mid setup, because these have been very proactive positions from the T side through that part of the map.
Buzzer with the spawn. Actually going to take a peek instead down towards ramp. No one here apart from Carson. He's just dropped a lurk smoke, but coldzera is just ahead of it. He sees down the left-hand side, blows his incendiary, but as that information's being gathered, yet again, it's Nouns resetted in towards mid. 4 players here this time. They're trying to overwhelm Dumao.
Flashbang is perfect. Dumao can't do anything, and because there's so many bodies here, they can respond quickly. Cold's under pressure. 2 players above him, and he can't hit the no-scope. Button does deal with the player towards the stairs, so he's got some freedom of movement, and he's able to get another. Pro CTs in towards their spawn. Neckers catches Carson as he comes back because Junior needed help. Alone with the bomb. A smoke forward gives him a passage, but misses his no-scope as well. And Legacy will tie things up.
Good rotations there from Legacy. The fact that coldzera immediately disengages after he gets the early intel in towards A ramp, resets over towards Guardian, and that just means that Bartan can remain over towards the B stairs. And he can focus his attention completely over towards that one area of the map. He doesn't need to anticipate that split because he's still got the early warning system of coldzera. Nice idea from Nouns as well, getting the pick in towards mid and then accelerating off the back of it. They were just not ready for that sniper to be there. Legacy hold on, equalize things up. And now we spoke about economy for the CT side, but it's the Ts that take a little bit of a tumble. AK's in play for 2 of them. Utility belt only equipped on Junior. And Bartan ready to defend again. Spam, fantastic. Flashbang in and support is here, but it doesn't even need it. Bartan and coldzera combining. George coming around the corner towards default, but again, more players in Legacy funnel into this site until Carson steps up.
Equalizing it 2-on-2. Bomb needs to be recovered from back towards quad. Gonna be planting it forward. HE off the mark. Does a bit of damage onto Carson. Lado's hoping someone's gonna extend around off default, but it's not happening so far, and that's smoke. Gonna make his position difficult. Kits on both players. Flash and smoke. Flash is going to come on forward to set up the swing, and it gives them some space to come on forward. Neckers knows where Carson is, just took down Lado, playing behind the double box, and such low HP. Just looking for the headshot, and Carson collects. What a round from him.
Yeah, leading by example is Carson. And those are the positions you want to find him in. Really prevalent when he goes in first as this in-game leader. When he takes the fights into his hands, he can set up his team for the late round. But this time, he is the late round. He is inevitable in all stages of this B site take. Really rough for Legacy because they come into this 2 versus 2. There's 1 flash, there's 1 smoke, and they swing on opposite angles. And what we've praised them for all half long is how good their trade spacing has been. But they weren't on the same page there, and it allowed Carson the opportunity. Triple boost up A. coldzera looking over, but not finding a thing. But you have to be patient, because everyone from Nouns is scaling up towards the ramp, and there's the bomb.
Information that 3 players are in towards short. But Nouns committed, they have no space elsewhere. Marky, great shot. A follow-up as well. Flashbangs doing their work, and Dumao still half blind, dealt with. It's Marky's turn. Lado will get 1 back. Buttons working with a 5-7. Retake has to come forth last round of the half, and they are forward. George with 2 Nouns with a lead at the half.
Yeah, really well worked. 7-5 is perfect on this T side, and look at the kill distribution. Everyone is tightly woven together. Carson leading the pack, right up there with Junior, who had a red-hot start to this game, but then has relied on the rest of his team to come together and gain these rounds.
George, 8 and 9, right there at the tail end, was one of the highest performers for Nouns as they made it through the closed qualifier. To even be here in the Americas RMR, that's who they need. Well, Nouns have got him on the server, and it's scary for Legacy.
It's like this George and Junior duo is coming into the mix for this squad. The remnants of EG's teams has really stepped up their firepower.
What's really impressive here, when you just take a look at the rounds that Nouns were winning, is how direct they were and how much they were ready to go off each other. The decision-making was instantaneous. Oh, and
okay.
That was instantaneous as well. Lato immediately snapping their head off the shoulders. Now the cavalry needs to come in.
That's a whole swarm. They're all coming over. Smoke forward. There is a kit in play. So they can go for this retake. Legacy is staying active with that man advantage. A re-smoke as well is very powerful. It's going to give Barton angles to work with. They're going to flashbang. Retake smoke comes forward. This is about to be a bloody brawl on towards default. Flashbangs each ways, and it's the T's that come out ahead. Barton with 2 to close it, and Legacy with a pistol.
That's a really nice from Legacy. Look at the way that they play that. They've got 2 players on default, but the way they're looking, it's towards the floor. So it serves 2 purposes here. It's so they don't get completely affected by the flashbangs, but also it's so they can see the feet as they come through the smoke. Then you've got the players at long range that take the initial contact, and it's a nasty surprise all over the bomb site for Nouns.
Now Legacy will be feeling like they can tie this up pretty easily. They're going A early. There are going to be 5 CTs stacking over here. In fact, they're going to be taking a little peek on through, which will provide some long-range aim drills. coldzera can post up on the angle with the MAC-10 if the USPs decide to swarm. He'd love to get some cash.
Cash would be a wonderful thing to have, especially on coldzera. That sniper becoming more and more forthcoming. Only George left. 1v5. Look, Legacy, they've immediately responded. coldzera with the quad. All tied up, and from a pick that they didn't expect, and we certainly didn't expect here at the casting table, Legacy are looking quite proficient. It's now up to Nouns, who are definitely the favorites when it comes to this map, and I would even argue the series. They don't want to get undone by the underdog pressure. A reminder, this is an elimination game. Whichever team loses, they are out. They can't qualify to the first CS2 Major.
Legacy's T-side's going to be very interesting because Nouns took a bit of a different approach to theirs than we often see. I think Legacy are probably going to play it a bit more standard. I imagine we will see a lot more A presence. Nouns doubling up in mid. Even Carson's close by, and George finds that opener onto Damao.
It's going to be aggressive out of Legacy. They're going to be taking a lot of steps very fast into securing control. Missed shot out of Cold, but at least he gets the intel. That means that Bartan can go back in, but it's still a one-on-one. George on the corner now feels the pressure. He's thinking, okay, well, there's a rifler over here. I know there's an AWP. They're trapped in spawn. This is fine. I can just live.
This isn't the bomb site. The T's are trying to take back T-spawn. George is in the back lines.
That's not ideal. That's an overextension from CJ. You don't need to find the information at the moment. However, I'm a big fan of this. Marky Jr., at least they're grouping up together, but it's coldzera on the angle. In such a narrow margins, he jumps, but he doesn't get it. Junior's been given the opportunity, and Junior mows them all down. The triple threat over at B, but it's Junior that's the ultimate.
Yeah, the jump is an interesting choice from Cold. I wonder if maybe the comms are slightly off with the timings there. He's expecting that swing from T-spawn to come quicker. He was the distraction to enable the fast trade, but wasn't quite quick enough. Felt like Legacy had done enough to bring their way back into that after dealing with the threat of George in the back lines. They're still going to have a buy into this one. You've gifted Junior and all.
This is the elevator smoke, if I'm not mistaken. Nick is lining that one up. So it looks like for a potential fast play in towards mid, you can throw flashbangs deep and try and split in towards CT. I think that's the intention here.
You can see Damal's got the incendiary, the Molotov that's going to go forward.
There it is.
There's that smoke. Junior can't now face, and that gives Ladder the space to work with. Good counter incendiary and a blow on the smoke, but not able to fight it. Flashbang was strong. Good defensive smoke. Now Legacy are in CT's spawn. And they know that they're in here. The bomb is stuck in towards mid. This is the weirdest round.
They do not need to fight this Nouns. The only mistake they make is if they push the issue. They don't need to. Obviously, Junior's got to be careful that no one is hiding in these smokes, but for Legacy, they've got a lot of control for everywhere that isn't a bomb site. Don't mind this. However, you've got to be careful because he's also creeping under the stairs. Will spot one, but won't be ready for the other one. Marky. Oh, he's playing it perfectly. Maybe a knife on the horizon instead. No, he's trying to beckon them into the bomb site. CJ with Lato as well. It's a player advantage still for Nouns, and Bartan's still in spawn.
Finds the kill on the CJ. Long-range duel. That's the bomb known and spotted and dealt with. Marky is being an absolute nuisance. It's got to be picked up. 10 seconds left. Marky, if he can take this one fight, he can win the round, but just getting around the corner at the last second. And Cold comes through to remove Carson.
That's unfortunate. Really unfortunate for Nouns because they countered that play perfectly. Look, you blow open that smoke to peek in towards mid. You get your B players to drop the smokes over towards CT. You never peek Guardian. There's no way and there's no place for Legacy to go. And yet, Nouns try and take space in towards the B stairs, which is fine, but afterwards, they then want to take all these fights in towards CT. The only way they lose that is by giving Legacy opportunities. That was 10 seconds. They had nowhere to go.
Marky just found that one kill, though. That's the round, right? It's a really weird round.
Yeah, no, it is.
I can't believe the CTs are... Sorry, the T's are in the CT spawn for like 45 seconds, it feels like.
The thing is for Mark is he had to go for that fight because that was the only confirmed intel. He didn't know that Cold Zero was walking up the stairs. That could have happened at any moment. Just couldn't finish his meal. And this is now just patience. Legacy, they've gone for a couple of fast plays. And now they're just slowing things down. They know the economy is not going to be too great. Bartan round the corner. George, potentially his first victim. Spray, labored. And only for one. That's an AK.
No armor in play, though. And I think the immediate response is to take the A-bomb side. They're already quite far progressed. There shouldn't be any further threat. All the bodies are here. Maybe they can make it a bit scary. Little dink on the Nekes. He's about to get out. Legacy going to be taking grasp of the lead again. Georgia want to save the AK.
And this is now the worry. Because when we mentioned that one game that Legacy played, and we did say, look, the T side was so dominant, I want to really just outline that. That was 9 rounds played in total on that half. And Legacy got 8 of them on that T side. And sure, that could be an outlier. Sure, that could be the only time that they played this map. But at the same time, when you've got a lot of experience, a lot of tail of the tape here for Nouns, you've got to be feeling incredibly confident. You don't expect it to come through on the veto. And our Legacy are overwhelming you. Okay, Cold.
Come on, man. This is an elimination game for the Major. Don't need to backstab your friends.
At least they're laughing about it. And they've got money. But that's still not ideal.
Hey, let's see how that happened. Oh, no, wait.
Houdini.
Well, mystery magic.
And no AWP for Junior. In fact, no AWP for Cold. All the rifles here in round 18. There was Junior was getting a lot of the heavy lifting done. Look at the space being taken over at A. This is fast.
Laddo is pushing on forward. Junior on the other side. Laddo quick. He's going to slink away through the smokes. Barton taking a duel over to B. Does give one back, putting it even. Legacy are pushing in towards middle. This is where a double up is. They're being active on every portion of the map, it feels. Trying to see if they can catch maybe some rotations from Nouns. The rotations are here. The players are in the right place. Flash forward is great. Code had to read. The utility was better from Nouns.
You just got to stay alive. Sure, Dumal can try and make his way over, but you can't give him that opportunity. CJ will punish. Sure, bomb site belongs to Legacy. That's fine. It's a 4-on-2 for Nouns they can retake.
And Lado's got no health. They've got no flashbangs or anything to set any of these players up, and goes over the top. Patience from Nouns should be enough. Nekez, this would be something special, and he gets 2 at the very least. Keeps it costly. Nouns keep things even.
Go response in the mid-round from Nouns. Because, again, you've got a decision to make. When you retake middle, are you going to do it together? Are you going to go for a 3-2-1? Or are you going to set yourself up with a flashbang? They do the latter. They get Marky on the angle. That's the last player you're really expecting to fight there. After 5 seconds ago, he was deep pushed in towards B. He finds that kill on towards Bartan. And then you're setting him up for a play in towards mid. Lexi not expecting it. And Lado not expecting that from Cold Zero.
I hate to victim blame, but I do think Lado is maybe at fault there.
Well, no, I just don't think you should be right-clicking your knife there.
Hey, who doesn't just like randomly stab your knife when you're running around? It's just like a thing you do.
It's the old inspect loop, but just a little bit more deadly. Tactical pause now for Nouns as well. That round felt convincing. And that was Legacy trying to create a blanket of pressure over towards all avenues. It was an opening kill over towards A. Then what they wanted was to find Bartan on Marky, and then suddenly your defense is split and you can take it anywhere. Instead, because they've already got the players in towards mid and they lose the Bartan out towards B stairs, Lato feels like he is going to be completely isolated, and Nouns could re-walk into that space. So they had to regroup, they had to go through mid, and they just stumbled.
Oh, run boost for Junior. Fast. Doesn't hit the flick though. Speedy on his feet. A little bit off on the trigger. To keep on fighting forward, but the smoke from the T's actually going to be blown so he can take a peer on through. Not seeing anyone. I guess he knows that this AWP is prowling around.
Looking at the utility for Legacy as well, there's 2 flashbangs to get them into this bomb site. Nade being used to try and blow coverage on towards the smoke. Dumal lining up a molly to scale over towards Gab, but it's a good counter smoke. Really well timed from Nouns as well as soon as they hear that utility. And now Legacy are worried, and you can hear so many audio cues of the amount of guns that are rattling off. Meanwhile, they're taking mid, they push deep. Nouns know that this has to end A.
And they get a brick buddies back. A flashbang over as well for Marky to peek in towards B stairs. Sees nothing. There's going to be 4 players ready to respond to this hit.
And you don't even need to push on A. You've got double incendiaries to deny. There's so much utility available to the CTs.
Junior just gets the fight. Lado's ahead of the smoke. It's actually not one on the left side. They're wanting to take fights. And it meets the AWP. Forward goes Nekez. Cold Zero does get the trade, and he needs more. Damal's helped out with one as well. And Barton, he's on a flank. Marky's heard it. Marky's got this for sure, so it's going to keep things even. Bomb down, and Junior deletes Cold Zero after he gets off the plant. Damal with barely a slither of health tucks in towards the sandbags.
There's no kit. Unless there's one on the site, there's no kits.
There's a smoke though. That can come forward. You can stick Junior on the bomb. Damal, will he believe in the fake? Oh, swings out, finds Junior. Kit recovered, and that's something. Damal playing around the sandbags, wasting time, desperately fighting, but Marky will find his mark, and he has time for the DVs.
Oh, breathe. Take a sigh of relief. If you're Nouns, honestly, take a tactical pause, because that gets really too close for comfort. And that's another example of letting Legacy back into these rounds when it feels like it should be a lock-in. Previously mentioned the amount of utility that they had. But Junior even gets the opening kill when it comes to that execute initially. And yet they want to fight forward. Yet they want to be proactive. And that is ultimately going to cost them in the end. That is terrifyingly close.
Got to praise Marky in that round as well for staying at B, not over-rotating as the site's being taken. He is patient. He hears the sound cue of that player. And we get more fun. Barton goes around quickly, but it is spotted. Doesn't quite land on the stairs.
Nice try. Tech9 not quite. But at least it keeps Nouns interested for now. Reset for Legacy. Under A. Bomb plant would be best case scenario. For Nouns, it's just about converting cleanly. Because in the last couple, these rounds have ended very close. Money lot there. Money needs to be established. Junior back reacquainted with this orb. But it's not him that's facing. It's Carson, it's CJ. Ready to pincer, ready to crossfire. All these little Tech9s running up ramp.
CJ's got such a strong spot. No Molotov. Actually, he's going to peek on forward. Very favored in these fights, but the PG-50 takes him down. Wanted to get the information, he finds it at a cost. Carson is known, flashbang, but dodged. Barton tries to force on through, now Junior arrives, plenty of support to deal with these Ts. The Tech9s looking for more kills, 2 will do. That's all it's going to be.
That's fine. Orb collected for Nouns. Gets scary when CJ swings, but you can understand that player was so isolated up towards A ramp, and we want to reinforce the bomb site. It is what he's thinking. Instead, they take a pause now, because now they understand the guns are coming back into play, and this is the turning point. You win this for Nouns, you put yourself up towards map point. You're fine. You kind of weathered most of the storm. If Legacy are able to turn this back around, and we've seen how chaotic and all of their various antics they've already thrown at Nouns in an unstandardized format of rounds. If you are able to overcome this, it's fine. If not, then there's always that element of doubt in the minds of these Nouns players. The journey to the major has always been a little bit tricky for this organization. Heartbreak in Paris. And reinforced with new additions. Junior, the only one that knows what it feels like to be on the biggest stage of them all. Hoping to get Nouns alongside with him as he peeks and he spots, but it's Marky with the killing blow onto Cold Zero, who's a legacy player in himself.
It's the highest performer for the squad on this map. Removed. 2 players spotted for Neckers. Looking for the headshot and he finds it onto George. Knows the Marky's position is over to the left, but jumps into a position where he had no way to really fight forward. Jamal just walks out in towards mid and is felled by Carson. And this feels almost desperate now for Legacy.
It's even a conversation piece about potentially saving these AKs. Instead, they're going to re-execute. Going into Marky's lair. It's always felt like Vertigo is sort of like his playground, has done really good stuff on every single team he's been on. Boost up. Lato hoping for an opportunity. Someone overextend. Someone give me a head to aim at. However, this time it's patience. And this time it's Marky regrouped with another member. They're buddied up, ready to defend.
Just 2 players here, so there is a chance that Legacy could get through and onto the site. HE forward, can't find the headshot onto Carson. And Barton, no chance. Marky from the lower angle, able to deal with him. Nouns, fine map point.
And also take a look at the money on Legacy as well, around $3,000 per player. Maybe an AK here or there can be purchased, but the end result, MAC-10s, Galils, even Tech-9s to accommodate some of this utility. This is Nouns' best chance of closing this map.
Give me a lot of questions as to why Legacy allowed this map through in the most important series that they will play probably in the next 6 to 9 months. Map that they've been first banning so consistently as of late. Haven't played it since early January.
What a nade. That's thrown by the B player, so the mid guys have still got all of their U2. It means their crosshairs can remain focused on players coming around the corner.
Nouns know that attack is going to come on this side of the map. They've got information on ramp. George goes for an investigation, finds his kill into Jamal, who's been struggling in towards middle. And a last barrel in towards B. Incendiary goes forward, the flashbang is fantastic. Marky collects both, locking them out. Ready to take Vertigo all by himself, it feels like coldzera. But the Tech9 over the top can't do a single thing. 4 for Marky, and Nouns take Vertigo.
Yeah, honestly, dominant. Scoreline doesn't really do it justice. A number of rounds were given to Legacy. Nouns looking incredibly strong. Jasmine, what do you make of Vertigo?
I'm absolutely loving this for the boys on the side of Nouns.